Hi again. This is video 4 from A Heart-Based Voice, and I'm Lorna. And I want to talk today about what it feels like to have to let your old self go. And the reason I want to talk about this today is because I had a little epiphany, a breakthrough. And I've been feeling sad over the last few days. Just these waves of sadness just washing over me for no reason. And I really had no idea what I was sad about. I was actually feeling a lot of fear too, but I didn't know what I was afraid of. And what I figured out was that as I do this deep work on myself, I'm discovering a new me. And what I'm finding out is that the old me doesn't serve me anymore. So as I do this work and go deeper and deeper into a connection with myself, I have to understand that the old limiting beliefs that I had about who I was is not really who I was. But at the same time, I don't know who I'm going to be yet or who I'm evolving into. So, but before I can move into that space, I have to let the old me go. So I realized over the last couple of days that it's the sadness that I feel is my old story that doesn't want me to let it go. For 57 years, it's who I thought I was, but it's not really. I thought I was a victim, and I had this victim mentality. And even the support that I've gotten has started off from me feeling like I was a victim. The first support I ever got was a support group for families of people who have a drinking problem. And I have a history of family alcoholism my whole life, and attracting people who had that kind of problem carried over into my adulthood. But about 8 years ago, I sought out support. Because what happened was I was just losing myself in other people's problems to the point where I felt like I actually had the same problem that they did. Because when you lose yourself, you have no separate identity. And so I thought that I was broken. I thought everything was my fault, and I thought I was the one who had the problem. The problem that I had was that I was not aware that I was a separate person. So when I went to the support group, that was the first time I ever heard that I was a separate person from the people who have the problem. So it's been 8 years now since I've been in that support group. And when I went in there, it was for one reason. It was to help me figure out how to save my marriage. And that's not what I ended up learning. I ended up learning that I was an individual, and it taught me how to focus on myself and how to take care of myself instead. But the problem with that is, as I separated and started to think of myself as an individual person, it didn't suit the marriage anymore. And so that's part of the reason why the marriage broke up, because it didn't support codependence anymore. It didn't support me giving myself over anymore. It didn't support me sacrificing myself anymore. But that is who I have known myself to be my entire life. Now that I am working this deep work, I'm realizing that that's not who I am. But yet I don't know who I'm going to be yet, because I'm in this transition period, kind of feel like I'm stuck in the middle. Not stuck. I am transitioning, but I'm kind of in this space where I have to let go everything that I've known myself to be before I know who I'm about to become. And that old story, that old fear story, doesn't want to leave. So it keeps bringing sadness up and bringing fear up and bringing grief up to remind me, this is who you are, this is who you are, but it's not who I am. I am not a victim anymore. And today I realized why I was feeling grief. I was even feeling sick to my stomach all the time, because this place inside of me, this power wants to come out, and I'm doing it. This power is rising, but the old story, the old me wants to stay there, and I have to let it go. And I have to be willing to stand up to the fear, stand up to the sorrow, stand up to the sadness and the grief. And if I've learned anything in these last 2 years, it's that if I sit in my feelings, no matter how painful they are, what happens is there's a breakthrough on the other side. I sit, I feel them, I let them pass, and there's always an aha moment on the other side. So the aha moment today came to me as, wait a second, I'm not a victim anymore. I might not need that support group in that way anymore, but I was clinging to it because it was the beginning of everything. It's like my security blanket. But now that I'm growing, other support is coming into my life, and other spiritual teachers are coming into my life that resonate with me. And I'm changing, and my vibration is changing, and my heart is changing, and I'm finding my soul. So I just thought, oh my God, I'm letting go of my victim mentality, and it doesn't want to leave. Because who am I without that, right? So anyway, I am loving that. I love it. Even though I don't know what's next, I love it. So this is what it feels like to have the courage to let your old go. So I'm thinking about, I'm thinking about seeing what it feels like not to go to the support group every week anymore, and just see what it feels like. Still have those same people in my life, but maybe I don't need that kind of support right now. But if I do, I can change my mind. So anyway, go with the flow, and any pain is there to guide you. That's what I've learned. Any pain is to guide you. And I really believe that every person in my life so far has been there to help me work through the things that I needed to work through personally. For example, I truly believe that my husband and I were together for 32 years because each of us, we did this intricate dance with each other, and we were meant to be together to work out the specific issues in ourselves that we needed to figure out on our own. And it served its wonderful purpose for the 32 years, but the things that I needed to learn, I am learning now. The things I needed to learn were that I am not a doormat, that I have a voice, and that I need to learn how to stand up for myself, that I don't have to accept unacceptable behavior, that I don't have to be around anger if I don't want to. I can walk away. That if I feel like something's not right in a circumstance or a situation, then that's not right. That I can trust my feelings. But what happened before was that anytime I felt that, I would think that I was crazy. I would think that I was at fault, that it was my fault. I was actually told those things, and I believed what everybody told me, that I was the one who had to change. But it turns out I'm not the one who has their problem. They have their problem. I have my things that I need to work on, and those things I just listed are the ones that I need to work on. So as I realize that this is me, I am powerful, I have a voice, I can take care of myself, then that old me, I can let that go. That old me can just fade away. And who knows what the new me will be, but I'm ready to find out. So check my blog out on aheartbasedlife.com. That's where I've been documenting and chronicling my little epiphanies ever since I left my marriage, and it talks about all the support that I've gotten too. And in later videos, I'll share more about how the support helped me in deciding whether or not to leave my marriage, and then how it supported me from that point on. So thank you for listening, and pass these videos on to anybody who you think it might serve. Women in your 50s especially, I'm sure there are so many other women out there my age who think they can't start over again. And you can, and I just want to share my experiences in case it could help someone else. So, and click subscribe on the video on YouTube if you want to hear more from my journey from divorce into empowerment. Okay, thanks. Talk to you soon.